show. They clean up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse show. The Drew and Fuse show. The Drew and Fuse show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hello, hello. Long time no see.
What's up, Fusemania from Cincinnati? How are you today?
Pierce from Long Beach, California, or should I say Seattle, the city that rains all the time.
I was driving down the street today. It's just foggy and gloomy, and you know, me being basically allergic to the sun because I'm albino. I don't mind it. You think living by the beach, I'd want more of the beach, but I don't. Go away, son.
Nobody wants something everybody can have. You know what I mean? You got it's like that whole thing. You get it all the time. You don't want it. You know?
Yeah.
So, well, you know, I was just gonna say too that I don't know. Now I don't know. I lost my train of thought for today, and that's it. That'll be the show. We'll see you guys later.
All right, we're regrouping. Listen, we got an awesome guest here. We also have some awesome sponsors. You want to run down some of these sponsors, and then we can get into some YOLO lines we have for you guys.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna play these YOLO lines first, and then we'll talk about any sponsor stuff. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Rob Ray. If you put the letters R-E in front of Fuse's name, it turns out to be refuse. He refuses to be the worst. He's a fuse on a bomb of explosion of music. Have a good day, bye. Hey, it's Rob Foray. Fun fact, the past tense of draw is drawn, but it's also drew. I drew a picture for you. Have a great day, bye.
Hey, this is, Richard Picture. First time caller, long time watcher. I gotta tell y'all, more and more, watching this show on YouTube it's definitely a challenge because of your eyes. Drew Pierce, you look like you're sleeping. You look like your eyes are closed the whole time. And open them babies. We want to see them. And Fuse looks like he's watching WWE or like Netflix or something, looking off the eye line from the camera. I need you to look at me when you talk. Kevin, keep doing your thing, you handsome devil. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
What's up, guys? It's Demand again. Listen, Drew, go take a pee break or something. This has nothing to do with you. All right, Fuse, listen up. I got an idea for your bar, and you got to hear me out, all right? Just stop, right? And I don't mean it in a bad way. Just stop what you're doing. Open up the bar exactly as it is, like just a huge, messy dump. I know you know all about huge, messy dumps. Just leave it a huge, messy dump. We're going to open it up. It's going to fail miserably. Then we're going to call that John Taffer guy, the bar rescue guy, and we're going to get you a free makeover on the bar. It's not going to cost you a penny. You're going to get exposure on TV. This is it. You don't have to invest any more money. You're good to go. Just big, messy dump, John Taffer, new bar. Trust me.
What's going on, Drew and Fuse? Love the content, love the pod, love the show. I stumbled across it later, so I'm catching up here. But the YOLO line, great opportunity to kind of just get what's on your mind. So my thing is the mashups, edits that DJs are making. I'm all about it. I love it. I love that the new generation has the ability to do it. It's easy for everyone to do it. What pisses me off, it just makes me not want to play these remixes. They're playing remixes or acapellas of older songs that they weren't around when they first came out. So not all the lyrics start on the one. Maybe they start before that or after that. So they're putting it on the timeline it structurally looks fine to them because they don't know how the song originally sounded. In the Club, 50 Cent
I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but I'm over listening to that one. Don't download the remix and don't play it if that's how you feel. That's all I got to say about that.
There are some good ones though in there that you could break down.
Sorry
I
to
will-
cut it short. I don't mean to cut anybody short, but I just, you know, like when you just can't take it anymore, you've just been listening to like all those in a row, and then I'm like, all right, I'm over this. We got to get back to what we're doing.
Rob, thumbs up on both of those. Very creative.
Yeah, Rob, you sound like you're in a 1940s telephone though. Like, what the fuck? Where are you calling from?
Whoever the guy was that says I'm squinting the whole time is because I'm fucking blind. I can't see. I try to put my glasses on. I still can't see. I don't know what it is. It is what it is. So just know that maybe I have to start Casey Neistatting it and put sunglasses on. So it just looks like is that it?
All right, here we are. Now you can't see my eyes. Now I'm good to go.
I'm just watching the screen that you're watching.
No, we appreciate everybody that calls in though and leaves a voicemail. The YOLO line is for you guys to use, and that phone number is 562-246-YOLO. Once again, 562-246-YOLO. Feel free to give us a call, leave us your thoughts, your opinions, whatever you want to do, really. We air them until we can't take it anymore, and then we cut it off. If you haven't yet, make sure you use the promo code Drew and Fuse Show. That'll get you 30% off your first month of activation at directmusicservice.com. Promo code DAFS will get you 20% off briggsbeardcompany.com. There's an affiliate link for Club Cannon below in the description. It'll save you $25 off your purchase of $250 or more. Also, we have a affiliate link for both Lighting USA in the description below. It won't save you any money, but it definitely helps out the show. They have tons of lights, up lights. They have the, what do you call it? The tube lights now, the Titan tubes, they're calling them. Anyway, if you use that code, it'll help the show. And if you're buying up lights, if you buy 16 or more, you do get a discount. So make sure you check that out. That is it for the sponsor today. We're going to jump right into today's guest. Today's guest is from Chicago. He won the 2016 Spin Awards for Regional Open Format Club DJ of the Year. In 2011, 2015, 2017, he was the promo-only mix show DJ of the year. 2021, he won the Twitch Awards Best Production Stream. He is a producer of Jump Smokers, creating official remixes for many top names like Beyonce, Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Katy Perry, Pitbull, Pink, Rihanna, Usher, and many, many more. He's performed all over the world, from Vegas to Miami, Singapore, Atlantic City, Indonesia, and many, many more. He's been on tour with Pitbull and Enrique Iglesias. He's now the official DJ for the Chicago Bulls, the U.S. men's national soccer team, the Chicago White Sox, and Northwestern University basketball team. You might know him from B96, Flipside at 5 in Chicago. Please help us welcome DJ Flipside.
Yay, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate having you here. When I was reading your bio, of course, I've been a big fan for a long time and a big follower, so I know a lot about you. But when you put it all condensed into like the bio, it makes me feel like I don't do enough.
It's funny. Like I tried to make the bio as like condensed, and like I feel like there was a lot that I still miss that I don't put on there. But I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, what's important? Like, should I put 2020 All-Star NBA DJ on there? Like, is that important? Like, what are some of the important things that you need to put?
No, I think your bio is great. It's like, I feel like it does say a lot in a very condensed way. I condensed it even more for your show intro. And the one thing that I think is cool that I didn't get to mention that I want to mention in here is you do a lot of the music for the Chicago Bulls, and you won an Emmy for music that you made for them. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we did. We won an Emmy. We did a holiday Christmas card, and I just basically made remixes of Christmas music, and we did the Chicago Bulls Entertainment, which is like Lovables, the 312 Crew, the Dunk Team, and we did like a one camera shot, where we started. Where I'm coming in, I'm DJing, and then like it follows like a whole path with like Benny the Bull It's just one continuous shot, and it's so amazing. And it took like so many takes, but I created the music for that, so we got an Emmy for that. And then just this past year, we Marquis and I released a song featuring King Marie called "Ready," and that became the introduction at Bulls games to the entertainment team, where we shot a music video for that as well, and we got nominated for Emmy. We didn't win, but we got nominated. But that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is
That's
awesome.
It's incredible.
That story is actually kind of crazy too. If we want to get
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, how does the Bulls alley oop that to you, or is that something you created and then you brought it to the Bulls?
Actually, I'm very, very lucky that our entertainment director, like our boss, her name is Michelle McComas. She's open ideas, or she'll just come with me. Hey, I have an idea. What do you think? How can we make this work? And for like this particular one, this past year that we got nominated for, we were originally doing a whole. It's like like it looks like a pro video, like music video. Like we originally did it to Dua Lipa's "Levitating." And so I made an edit where, it's shorter, and then it transitioned up to one of the remixes. I can't remember. I think it's Don Diablo's remix or Oliver Heldens' remix. I forgot which one, but it transitioned up to make it up tempo. And we shot the video. We got like all the labels to say, hey, can we use the song? Yeah, that's totally cool. We can use that. And we just got to clear it with a couple people. And then we shot the video. And then one of the writers was like, yeah, we're not going to clear it for you. So we're like, we shot the video already.
Yeah.
So then my boss, I was like, well, we can just create music that's similar, that's the same tempo, transitions up the same way, and make it an original song, which came out to be Ready. And it worked out absolutely perfect. So now I'm like scoring this music video, or the music for the video. And then King Marie, who's the singer on the track, her and a couple of the other writers, we basically watched the music in time with the video and wrote lyrics that kind of went along with the video. So
Wow.
like there's a part where we show the Swingin' Seniors, which is like another dance crew, and then like the lyric is, I've been waiting all of my life, so it's kind of like there's little ties into the video. So it was a whole different kind of writing process, and it was really, really fun to be a part of. And shout out to King Marie and the people at the Classic Studios that helped write all that together. Like it was really, really, really dope to be a part of.
Ah, wow, that's incredible. I love the backwards way of writing. Yeah, I wonder with just with how music's going. I mean, that could be like a new process with AI and whatnot. Just writing things a different way, of getting your inspiration from different sources.
Yeah, can you imagine you just say, hey, AI, give me a video of XYZ, and then that's the video. And then you write to that video.
Yeah.
That could be a whole nother writing lane now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's also crazy to me when you do something with like the music like that and you have to get it cleared, how many people have to say yes. So it's always when you see commercials or you see anything on TV using a certain song, it's really amazing. All the stars have to align for everything to work out. It's always wild to me of what does work out, or even artists that get a sample cleared or whatever, how many levels to it there is for that to be a thing is always amazing. It sucks that it didn't work out for you, but then it kind of did work out for you all on the end there.
Yeah, it worked out for the better. I mean, that's been one of the issues that being a part of the NBA has been with copyrights, where some of the music or some of the things that we want to post, we can't necessarily post because we don't have the rights to the music. So now we're creating original music. Like Marquis is another one of the Bulls DJs, and we produce a lot of stuff specifically for certain moments so that we can post it. Because record labels like Sony, if they see a Justin Timberlake song on the track on your post, they can sue you and take it down, or any copyright. They can actually do that. So we're very limited on what we can post and having copyright licenses. So my boss was just Michelle. She was just like, we can create, or we told her we can create music for you. Utilize us more than just DJs. You utilize us as producers, and we can create this original sound for the Chicago Bulls as well.
They're really lucky to have you in that aspect of it.
I think how many technically how many DJs for the Bulls are there? I know you're one. I think there's a couple others.
Yeah, there's 4 of us total. DJ Metro, J Funk, Marquis, and myself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
People don't understand. This year I became an in-game DJ for the Reds, and this is my first time working with a major league or something similar. But people don't understand how big of a production the games, and especially NBA. It's like a giant party when you go to an NBA game, and how much work goes into it behind the scenes to make that all come together.
Yeah, it's really cool because we're more than just DJs. We're music coordinators. So we're putting music for certain moments. Like when the military guy comes out, you curate what song is being played for that. It's not going to be just like an in-your-face record. It's going to be something uplifting and happy, to honor the military person that's there. Or, there's different charity stuff that happens. So we actually play music for each time out as well. So it's not just the hype part where we're playing, DJing and showcasing, which we love that we get to do, but we're also responsible for curating these moments in the game. If we're losing by X amount of points, what is that vibe going to be? Like, it's not going to be "Don't Stop the Party." Like you have to pick and choose. Like, all right, well, we want to get our people into it, but we also got to realize what's happening. So all that has to happen at the whistle. You're like, okay, well, you're tabulating what's happening in the game. Are we up? We're down, but we're starting to come back. And he just hit a big shot. Okay, now we can go hype, even though we're losing, because big things happen. There's all these things that you have to think about in the game for these moments.
Yeah, and you're secondary to the game. That's the other crazy thing. Is like you don't necessarily control, unlike DJing to a crowd in a club or a bar or wherever. The game happens first, and then you have to react to it, which is a completely different train of thought than DJing to a crowd.
You guys can both, at this point, you can now play copyrighted music, right? It's just if you want to post that, it needs to be something that's cleared.
Yeah,
okay.
like in the game, yeah. If there's like a big moment that we know that we want to post, like we also have to kind of be careful of like, Zach LaVine hits a 3, like we play something hype, but we can also play something that we've created that's hype. We've actually created a song with a co-sign from the Interns. I don't know if you remember that production team, the Interns. They produced Big Sean Dance, and I'm brain farting, but I think they've done a bunch of stuff. Okay, and one of the guys co-signed. We did a song called "Finish with the Win." So if we're about to win, we feel that, and the timeout gets called, we can drop that song, and it's a hype song that's ours, so that we can post it. Things that people they learned about the song, and now they're hype about it, and now they get along, they sing along. It's like our own original music that we tied to the Bulls.
I think it's great, and I fully understand what you mean. If you have social media down there capturing, they're taking videos, and they can't have what's playing. I completely understand with what you're saying, Drew.
What's ironic about that is TikTok proved everybody wrong that it can actually blow up the song if you just let it live into the verse, right? But yeah, the labels are still sandbagging it everywhere else. It's like somehow TikTok, they're able to get away with anything they want.
Yeah. So we're talking a little music. We want to roll into talking to music. We're going to play this segment video, and then we'll ask you some questions.
Hey, Drew and Fuse. Kermit the Frog here. When I'm not dealing with my pain-in-the-ass wife, Miss Piggy, I like to talk and sing with my friends. What's your top songs? A new personal favorite of mine is this. It's the Drew and Fuse Show, the Drew and Fuse Show, and they clean up nicely, because usually they look like shit. Yay!
I love it. That's so amazing.
We have Kermit there introducing our music segment. So one of the things we like to ask is if you have a favorite remixer or producer in all of music.
I have a ton. I mean, obviously, you have your Timbaland and the Neptunes are obviously one of my top ones. Dimitri from Paris is one of my favorites too. And if you're talking like current, I love what Chris Lake is doing with House, and like Blue Claire is another guy that's like I feel is under the radar, where I really like his vibe and like the bounce that he makes. It's so much fun. There's a guy from Chicago, actually. His name is Jake Shore Drive, who's actually been making a lot of really cool like tech house stuff that's really fun because he's sampling like everyone the old 2000s stuff, and he's making it work really, really well. So I like what he's doing. If you're talking like current stuff, Kesha Nada, I'm so in love with Kesha Nada vibe. So yeah, sorry about that.
All good. If you had a theme song that followed you everywhere you went, like if you went grocery shopping and it started playing when you walked in the door, what would it be?
I feel like it's very obvious. There's two of them, and it would be Little Flip, Game Over. Because like now who they want, flip, like that's that, or it's Freeway, Flipside. Like those are the most obvious answers. Because the Game Over is literally my intro. For when I stream, I have like a little Game Over mega mix that I made. That's pretty dope.
Awesome. Works so well with your name. I love it.
Yeah. Let's see. One of the things we like to talk about is the Serato top 5, or if you have top 5 most played tracks. I'm not sure if you have it pulled up and
I do
ready.
actually.
Okay, perfect.
It's kind of funny. I've been doing so many old school house parties that like it's all old school house. So like number 5 would be Earth People Dance. 4 would be Percolator, and then out of nowhere, 3 is Turn Down for What. The Lust remix, which is like a Moomba remix. Number 2 is Brighter Days, Daja and Kashmir, and then number 1 is Push the Feeling, the Nightcrawlers.
Yep.
Wow.
But the actual number 1 is my Scratch Bank track. So I think that's
okay.
I wouldn't count that, but like that's the actual number 1 song that I play all the time.
Did you make that one, or is it someone's?
It's something I made. Like way back in the day, I was planning on putting out my own scratch record. So this is like the track from that. It never came out, but that I like laid it out exactly how I wanted it to. So there's a bunch of DJs in Chicago that actually have it too, and then it's made its way around the world.
Someone that has, I mean, I think me and Fuse both have like quotes going on our head. We both love classic movies and all that stuff. How do you put something like this together? Is it just something where you're just grabbing all these little parts and like how do you put it together? Where are you grabbing all the stuff from? And
yeah, for this one, it was more. It wasn't as much movies where it was the basic. These are. You have a scratch record and you have all these scratch samples, but the main ones that you use, I just took those and put them in a proper order that's easy to make sense. But this goes well with this, and then this goes well with this, and then this goes, so they kind of go hand in hand. And at the end of it, I took vocals from rap battles, where they talk shit about each other. So that's like the whole point. So I took some real key finishes, like punchlines that you can use on there. Like there's one who was like, I'll wait till the second round to knock him out, like stuff like that. There was one from Idea, that old school battle rapper. He's like, yo, it's your turn, but you got second place. Like, yo,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was more battle aspect for that.
One of the questions too that we have is like go-to classics to play, but I feel like you kind of answered it a little bit already. Are you doing a lot of gigs now again, like bar club gigs, or what's a typical week look like for you?
Yeah, so I've been doing Twitch a lot, and then I would do like one-offs. So like last night I did an R&B party where it was just like straight R&B and house, where they wanted the theme to be that kind of vibe. So of course I'm here. I am playing old school house again. So it's like it's R&B, and then I've been doing festivals that love old school house, and like big events that they love that. And Chicago house has this vibe. If you grew up in the area, all these songs without knowing all these songs. I don't know what this title is, but when I hear it, I know exactly what it is. there's part of that culture of like quick mixing and like doing live mashups and doing all that from back in the 90s that I'm able to do a lot easier now with the technology that we have at hand. And now I'm doing it even more special with stems and having fun with these. So it's been a lot of fun. And I've been doing a lot of house events. So like funky house, jackin' house, and stuff like that. And then I still do the Chicago Bulls. Like our season's over, so so now I have a little bit of a break, and then White Sox stuff is starting to happen. So the schedule is very it varies a lot. But if a club comes up and it makes sense, then I'll do like an open format night, or if the budget works and the timing works out, then I'm down to do it. So it's really varies.
So we know you're in New York now. Are you bouncing between New York and Chicago? Or are you more in one spot than the other?
Yeah. So I still represent Chicago. Like that's still where I'm from. I live in New York currently. My wife got a great opportunity to be a vice president of a company. So I was like, yeah, we should probably go there. She was working remote for a while, but then this new job required her to come in. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty much remote all the time. And then when I need to come in, there's so many flights from Chicago and New York that's like, it's almost on the hour. So it's pretty easy to travel back and forth. And it's only like a 2-hour flight, if that, depending on which way you're going. So it's pretty easy to go back and forth.
The more I'm flying, the less it seems like it's hard. When you're traveling a lot, it's just part of the trip. It's not really even something you second guess. So that makes sense. I just can't even imagine your schedule. It's giving me anxiety thinking like, oh, I got to be at the sports game, and then I got to do this, and then this whole new sports team is coming up that I got to go and be part of. It's like, oh man.
And then we're shooting the MVP game and like doing that game show. So there's like figuring out, okay, if I'm going to be in town for the game show, then I need to I want to book some other gigs around it, so then make everything make sense, like a very fiscal weekend.
Yeah. So what is the MVP game show? Tell us a little bit more about that. I know it's Roman that used to be, I don't know the relationship of Jump Smokers now, but I know at one point you guys were touring together as Jump Smokers.
Yeah. So Roman is the vocalist in Jump Smokers, and he's actually from Styles and Roman from the afternoon show when I was on B96 for Flipside at 5. And he and I we're like really, really close friends. And we just took hiatus from Jump Smokers for a minute. And he actually started this TV show on the Marquee Network, which is the Chicago Cubs network. And it's basically kind of like the Newlywed Game, but instead of being like love, it's more partners. So MVP stands for Most Valuable Partner, where one person is super knowledgeable about Cubs history and the other person is definitely not. So the game is kind of a play on that. And I became the DJ and the music coordinator for that as well. So we created music for the show, and the Jump Smokers' latest release is called MVP, and that's the theme song for the show. It's really cool, and it's like one of those songs that we can play at Bulls games because we have the rights to it now too, because it's basically like, you ever hear at the foul throw line where the crowd just like MVP? That's the theme song. That's it. We did it ourselves. We recorded the vocals, and so it's like a tech housey version of that. And so the game show is so much fun. It's family friendly, and it's just another great opportunity for us to work together. Where Roman is working with his now wife as the co-host, and they're so funny, they're so talented, so it's a great another thing to be a part of.
Do you need to be is that on national TV or is it on cable TV?
It's on cable TV in Chicago because it's specifically for the Cubs, but they have like networks across the Marquee Network. They have different networks across the country, but this one is specifically for Chicago. So this is where you watch Cubs games at. Like, it's on this network.
Gotcha.
And then when they don't have Cubs games, the game show is one of their TV show plans.
Awesome, awesome. We're talking about a lot of production, and we want to talk to you a little more about production. We're going to roll this video, and we'll ask some more questions.
Hey, what is up, Drew and Fuse? It is Mark McGrath from the band Sugar Ray, off the charts, but always in our heart. Hey, Drew and Fuse, when I'm not busy being the handsome, dashing fella that I am, at least I had a few good years in the 90s, I work on music, like writing hit #1 songs like Fly and Every Morning. Maybe someday you'll have a hit. Let's talk production. Let's talk inspiration. Actually, you know what? I don't even like Drew and Fuse. Who are they?
All right, so there's Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray talking a little production. So one of the things we wanted to ask, what is your go-to for production these days? What DAW are you using still? And obviously it's a big part of what you're doing still. Yeah,
it's Ableton all day. Just I do Ableton for my production. I do Ableton for my radio show mixes. It's just a very easy way to chop things up and copy and paste, and the automation is so easy to use. I remember when I was using Logic, I'm like, I want to automate this knob, and you have to like go through the list, like what does this knob do? Like that was so hard. But with Ableton, I want to automate this knob. You click on it, and then the automation line comes up. Like it's so fast, it's so easy. It's just a time saver, so you can get your ideas out quicker. So I think Ableton is great, especially if you're using samples and you're chopping things up. The way that format is on Ableton is just so quick. It just speeds up my process and helps with my brain. When my idea is thinking of something, I can do it easily.
Are you still, I mean, obviously you're doing a lot of production work for the Bulls, and like you mentioned, the new release for Jump Smokers was the MVP song for the game show. Do you have any other music that you're working on currently?
Yeah, actually, so I released my first single on my own, like my own Flipside single, Good Time, a year ago, and that was actually a really, really cool story too. Basically, we were in pandemic, and I saw this girl on YouTube that did a cover of a song that I really liked. So I just reached out to her and I was like, "Hey, do you write?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure, I can try something." So I sent her the track, and then she actually like has Pro Tools and knows how to work it. So she recorded the vocals and sent them back to me. And then I'm like, "This is pretty dope. Let's change a couple lines, and then let's actually clean this up." She's like, "Can I watch you clean it up?" So then we like went on Zoom, and she was watching how I was like editing and like mixing and making her voice sound the way it did. And so that was like such a cool experience. That she's like in the UK, and
Wow.
it's just super random, and she took a chance, and she's like, and like the music that she puts out is like folk, but her voice is like kind of dope. So it was a nice extension for her to do something different. And now a couple of my other friends have used her for vocals for their tracks now. So we did remixes for that with like Q, Marquis, Riddler, DJ Strobe, Dark Intensity. So like, all the homies, they did remixes for me. And then I did a remix for Dark Intensity as well for his new record, which features Paige Temperley, the same vocalist. And so I did a remix for him. The song's called Odyssey. I did a remix for the OMG Collective, which is it had Janice. What is her name? She did a really very famous Janice Robinson. She did an old school song that if I pulled it up, you would definitely know it. But I can't because I'm brain farting right now. And then I'm working on a lot of Chicago Jack and House stuff right now too, which is a different lane. But I grew up with it, so I like really, really love it. It's just something that I love to do. So I wanted to put out some Flipside music with that. And that's kind of what's up and coming is some like actual house music from me. So it's cool. And then Jump Smokers, we're working on some new music as well. So there's gonna be some Jump Smoker music coming out in the future.
What's the current lineup of the Jump Smokers? I mean, you guys were some of the first that kind of doing the housey remixes, and it was definitely heavy on my rotation back in the days. What is the current lineup? And yeah, what can we expect?
Right now, it's Roman as the vocalist, and then myself doing 100% of the production. And our vibes are they're still EDM vibes, but there's also the pop side of it too. So, because obviously we've worked with you read the list with everyone from Katy Perry and all those people. So we want to kind of be able to touch on that but still do the banging stuff that we're known for. We actually have a show coming up in Sri Lanka. Like
that's crazy.
They're like Jump Smokers.
That firework remix you guys did when that song came out was like the one I played every single time I DJ'd for like the longest time.
It still works today. And funny story about that particular remix was originally the label wasn't feeling it. They were like, it's
label's always wrong.
They were like, we kind of want a little bit more radio friendly version. I'm like, well, we can give you that, but we're gonna give the DJs the one that we want. And that was the one that everyone was playing. And
it's such an interesting song structure too to Firework. I feel like that's why there's not a lot of remixes and bootlegs out of it, because there's the way the song is structured in general. So that one was like it one.
Thank you. And it was funny, like when we sent it in, like one of the people that we're talking to, she was like, "Can you turn the hi-hat down 5 dB?" I'm like, "Yo, this is where we're at right now." Like you're giving us like that kind of critique. Like, okay. Sure. I mean, it's not gonna make or break the remix, but sure, if that's what we want to do, we'll go back and do all the passes for it again.
It's
so
absurd. Like we said, the label knows everything, right?
Yeah. Hey. One of the questions I have, and were you guys signed to any label at any point, or how are these remixes coming to you then? Luckily,
because we were on radio. For myself being a mix show DJ,
right?
And the guy who managed us, his name was Eric Bradley. Amazing guy. He is actually the music director at our radio station.
Okay.
So like he knew everyone obviously, and everyone loved Eric because he's like one of the nicest guys that in the music industry that you ever meet. Like truly honest, like one of those like good dudes, right? He really helped us connect the dots to be able to like, he got us our first remix, which was "You're a Jerk."
Oh, wow,
the New Boys.
Yeah.
And then he's actually really, really, really close with Mariah Carey. So he became really he's been a really good friend to Mariah Carey. So that's when we did "Obsessed." And yeah. So then that was really, really big opportunity for us. She liked it so much she put it on her deluxe album. That's something that we're so grateful for. But once these remixes started happening, then people are like, "Oh yeah, you guys actually do good remixes." So then, then Rihanna came, and then like all the others started coming: Katy Perry, Demi Lovato, Rita Ora, Pitbull, and then Pitbull was like our champion. Like he was the one that was really behind us, especially with when we did the song, when we actually produced the song. Now You See It, like that was his introduction to us. I'll be like, "Yo, this is dope." That's a whole nother story on how we got that situation and shot the music video in Miami. They flew us down, and like that was like so fun. I was trying to do a backflip on the video and I failed a bunch of times. It was so fun. Like Pitbull is the nicest guy in the world, and because of that song, he's like, we need you to do more remixes for us. And that's how like "Give Me Everything" came, and then that did well. He loved that one, and then "International Love" was the one that he was like, "Oh, you guys are the shit."
I remember that one too. That one was dope.
Yeah, Pitbull told us specifically that "International Love" was doing just okay on spins, and then when our remix came out, that the spins ignited on radio, like on Mix Show, and even probably the clubs too. But he got so much more spins from the Mix Show from our version that radio started adding it and pushing it more, and he really gave us like credit for helping that record get to the next level. And he loved that remix so much that to this day, he still performs at the end, or like when he finishes International Love, he ends with our remix. And
Wow.
like,
Awesome.
it's like every time, like whether he's on ABC or doing it on his regular tour, like it's that, like it's such a great feeling to see that every time we see him on TV. If he happens to be performing that song, we hear our remix, and that's like one of those like good feelings. But yeah, that's kind of how the remix all that kind of came about, was being able to get these connections from the relationships of being on radio and delivering when we had the opportunity.
So
huge.
when the Mariah Carey came out and that made it to her record, I mean, first off, that was a pretty big song for her, and I remember playing that in the clubs. But did you guys get like a point or anything on her rec? No.
Remixes are buyouts.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
like,
I was just curious.
Yeah, I know. I'm sad. I mean, if you think about like Kid Cudi and like in the Crookers,
Yeah.
that was a buyout, but that like their version became the version, So the labels weren't working that way, where they would give you they wouldn't give you that kind of point. It's like, here's X amount of dollars, do the remix, and then that's it. So I mean, I really wish that they would really put that into place, but they don't want to give away money.
With Jump Smokers coming, you guys are kind of start doing stuff again. Is that kind of a goal, is doing originals for these artists, or still stick in the remix lane?
I'd say both. The remixes were very what people know us for, but we definitely want to have original production where we're working with bigger artists producing the record for them and getting these opportunities to get the royalties from it and do that. Like, it's always been a goal for us, but the remixes they took off. So it was a lot of work on doing that stuff.
Now You See It song, you guys put that out on Spinnin', right? So you get money from that, right?
I still get checks from that because that was in the Piranha 3D movie. It was in Californication. Wow. It was in Jersey Shore. So it was in a couple like syncs. So I still get a quarterly check from Now You See It specifically. We get it from some of the other songs that we put out, but that's always the main one. Like
that's awesome.
So that's how many 11 years later, and we're still getting checks from that song. That's so huge.
That's crazy. How many of those would you have to do to live comfortably the rest of your life? How many songs like that would you need?
God. Well, see, I mean, that song was like, I think it was #1 in the UK, but it wasn't like #1 here.
Okay.
So like, if you get like a top 40 record here, or a top 20 record, top 10 record, that's like life-changing music, or that's life-changing money. All you need is one, really.
Yeah.
It just takes one.
I got my tip. All right, here's what I'm gonna throw out for you.
Yeah.
Christmas music. We need some updated Christmas music.
Yo,
Christmas
Cascades album? Did you hear Cascades album?
I know, but I'm saying we need a classic, right? So like, wrap your head around like the next Mariah Carey classic, for Christmas music, or even a wedding song. I just feel like these songs come into our rotation as DJs, and they're just like on loop. And there you go. That's my 2 cents.
I agree that the Christmas album, or the Cascades Christmas album, was phenomenal. Like I'm
gonna save that because I haven't listened to it.
Oh my god! Well, like what he did in honor of the Christmas stuff and in honor of being true to Cascade and like being that, that shit's fire. I don't know if it's gonna necessarily be top 40 radio like Mariah Carey, but in terms of being like a great production and a great Christmas album, that was straight fire.
All right, well, it's saved in the Serato right now.
With that song that came out for Pitbull, the Now You See It, did that help you guys break out in touring more as well?
Yeah,
were you guys doing more shows?
Yeah, we were super lucky. We were Pitbull, because of all the remixes and because of me being a DJ. He brought us on tour, and at first it was Pitbull and Kesha, that tour that we did. And that was so fire, because the audiences of Kesha, they were down with like EDM stuff too. So like we would basically, Kesha would go on and then we would go on. And
Wait, after Kesha? You would
we
go on
would
after
go on
Kesha?
after Kesha.
Wow.
And then
Was it just you and Roman then?
Correct. We were the only ones touring. Marquis was with us. He was a part of the Jump Smokers for a little while, but he was just doing like production stuff, so he wasn't touring with us. It was just Roman and I doing the tour. So this is an awesome story.
Wait, I want to hear the story. I'm sorry to interject. What is your Kesha gets all the production, right? What does your production look like on that if you're going to follow Kesha?
Okay, so
the LED wall, like what are you doing? You have dancers?
Not even, bro. This is exactly what I was just about to tell you. So, so our show wasn't a show like Kesha and Pitbull. So what we were supposed to do was be the interlude, not like how other DJs would be an interlude where they keep it low and it's just like, you know, here's music. Pitbull specifically wanted us to hype the crowd and put on an energetic show so that when he goes on, he doesn't have to warm them up. And, you know, like a lot of times when you have two acts perform, then people sit down for like 20 minutes and then they're like getting food and doing whatever. He didn't want that at all. He wanted it to be Kesha's high energy. You guys are high energy. I'm high energy. You know, like that's what we wanted to do. So, so this is what was awesome is that he just basically put us on a DJ booth. It's a table and a skirt and and us DJing. And but like straight up. But what he said to us, hey, you know, our lighting guys, this is where they need to take a break. And so we'll just give you spotlights. And then our camera guys got to take a break. So, you know, we can't really do
pulling everything out from you.
So I asked them, okay, can you give us an HDMI out? Like, can we HDMI out to you? And they're like, oh yeah, we can make that happen. So what I ended up doing was getting 3 webcams and being our own camera, using Resolume and Mix Emergency, playing some music videos, but not really, but having our Jump Smoker visuals being on the screens. So they gave us the screens. So now we're creating our own light show as well with the screens flashing and doing all this stuff. So we created our own out of nothing, you know? So now we have hashtag Jump Smokers like on the screen and like, you know, Roman's on the mic getting them hyped. So I'm DJing, I'm focusing on like the, you know, the DJing aspect of it. And I gave him a little MIDI keyboard, like one of those LPK 25s, like the little, like the small MIDI keyboard. And he would just hit buttons. Like if I'm scratching, he would hit the camera that would go to me. And then he would hit another button that would go to the visuals at a certain time. He would hit another button that would make it strobe and like, you know, like so we were a 1 or 2 man show creating this whole energy out of nothing and really took advantage of the opportunity that we're given. And that was like huge for that tour. You know, Kesha, she, you know, her people appreciated it too. Like the fans of her fans appreciated it. It was such a cohesive environment, and like Pitbull keeps no one but good people on his tour. Like everyone he works with, super duper nice. Like they all know how to handle themselves, and then they're also like producers as well. So they're like, hey, let's work on a track. Let me know what you think about this, or we're working on this. Give us your thoughts, or you know, what can you do here? And like, so it became like this whole production, like mecca thing. And what's crazy is I was still doing radio at the same time. So,
oh my God.
So
your schedule gives me anxiety.
So our bosses were, we were doing Monday through Friday at 5:00. So, and then Roman was doing the afternoon show. So they said, any day that you're not doing a show, you have to come back and do your show here live. But when you're on the road, you can pre-record and do that. But like when you're not, you have to come back. So we couldn't be on the tour bus and like be on the bus with them. We would literally fly back the next morning, be in time to do our show. If the show is the next day, then we'd fly back the next day. Like we routed it like crazy. That was the year I made 1K for United. You know,
I'm sure.
That's insane. And one of the things that I want to say too is, we had you guys a couple times at Pavilion back in the day as Jump Smokers, and your guys' show was always like very well polished, and Roman was always very, very good MC. And one of the hardest things I think to learn and master as an MC is, this is my party. It's my party, and you're going to do what I tell you to do. And he is really good at that, but he does it in a way that's like, not over the top as well.
Yeah. I think, I got to give Roman a lot of credit, especially when we're on the road. Like his interaction with the crowd has always been very easy to follow and like not annoying. Like if you're an audience person, you can follow where he's trying to take you. Whether it's, singing along or just the energy, it's really, really good. But I have to also give him credit for the behind the scenes stuff of being able to party with the promoters, because I actually don't drink alcohol at all. I'm allergic to alcohol, and all the promoters, they always want to be like, yo, let's do shots. Like, Roman, here, you got to do the shot, So, and then like, at the time, like, he, if he's single or whatever, like he's flirting with all the girls. Like I had, a long-term girlfriend at the time, and she's now my wife, and like Roman was the one that, poor Roman, he had to go talk to all the girls.
But it is important. It's important, and it's a job. Doing that becomes a job itself, because you feel like not only am I this entertainer, but now I have to be the host that is making sure that not only did we do the job, are we coming back? Are we getting that option to come back? And that it's hard to do and balance all those things.
Yeah, especially when I'm a DJ who doesn't drink, and like, like a lot of times people like, because we did a tour with LMFAO, and we were cool with them, that everyone thought that we were party like they did, and that's not our, like, we don't get wasted till 3 a.m. Like those guys are awesome, and they that's part of their image of the Party Rock brand. And we were grateful to work with them and do all the things that we did with them. But like people would book us and like expect, okay, so you guys want like 3 bottles, and like no, we're okay. You can just 1 bottle for like the guests that we have with us or whatever. Like,
right.
You're like, oh, really? You don't want like lines of Coke or anything? Like, no, we don't need it. Like, oh, we're good.
No, it's so important. It's part of it is balancing being able to perform, not overdoing any of that, but still, being part of the crowd, so that people do invite you back, like he's saying. It is important.
We want to talk to you a little about streaming. We're going to roll this super high quality, high production, high budget streaming video, and then we'll talk a little about streaming.
Let's go streaming now. Everybody's learning how. Come on and stream with me.
Come on and stream with me.
I bet you would never guess that that's Drew singing there. I mean, bet you would never guess that.
Did you melodyne that? Like, it's really good. It's pretty good.
So one of the things I think is cool is you on tour were kind of already doing, when you were on tour with Pitbull, you were kind of already doing what now everybody is doing on Twitch, but yet, so you were kind of ahead of the game, I would say, with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for some reason, I feel like it all kind of came together. I used to like making kung fu movies when I was in high school, and like doing all these like video editing stuff. Like that was like a big part of me.
I need to see these. Tell me they're up on YouTube.
There are some that are up there. Yeah, they're called the Flipside Adventures. They're pretty fun.
Okay.
Gosh.
I think they're still the web page, the YouTube page might have gotten taken down at some point, but yeah, so being able to do all that, the video editing, like really helped me when we're coming to OBS, and I took the whole ideas from Pitbull from the tour to learning OBS, and then like, oh, this is kind of just like video editing, and like I feel like you ever see that movie Slumdog Millionaire? where
Oh, yeah.
where everything that happened in his life was the reason why he was able to answer those questions is exactly how I felt when streaming came. Where like, but everything I was doing in my life led up to, oh, I have this computer already. I could do this. I could do, I have this capture card. I have, like all the things kind of led up to it. And it all started working out during COVID when, yeah, like you said, when everyone was streaming.
Yeah.
How many streams are you still doing?
Right now I'm doing 3. I'm doing Mondays, which is EDM every damn Monday.
What times are all these doing?
So currently it's 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then
That's long.
So you're
Two-
still
2 hours?
flip-siding at 5, but
4
just
p.m.
It's New York time essentially, yeah. But then and then I do Wednesday, which is way back Wednesday, but it's all old school dance music. So that's everything from Chicago house to like old school techno to Euro sometimes, or like some actual deep house stuff, some actual like proper house stuff. So I'll do that on Wednesdays as well, and then Thursdays is when I do flips tips. That's Thursday starting at 11 a.m. and then that goes until I finish. So basically, I'm still on a radio station called 104.3 Jams, which is all throwback hip hop and R&B, and I create the mix live on Twitch in Ableton and answer questions while I'm doing it and let people know, oh, this is how I warp, or even we go into deeper. This is why I'm gonna play this song with this song because of the energy of this or the key of this, or I want to build this way. I want to make this dramatic, or I want to do like it's a little pull the curtain and let people know where my brain goes. And when I create these mixes, and after they air on 104.3 Jams, I put them on Mixcloud, and they're charting, #1 in hip hop or #1 in old school, #1 in classics, like on all the charts on Mixcloud globally, which is really, really fun. And just to let people see there's a lot of thought that goes into this 50-minute mix. Like it doesn't, I just don't do it live. It's not just like, oh, here's this song that's going to go with this song. Or like, maybe there's a wordplay here, or maybe there's a unintentional tone play that is kind of cool or something, like all these little things that that makes sense.
Well, I want to say I get people ask me, oh, you do your mixes in Ableton. It's so much easier. It's going to be quicker. It's like, it's not necessarily easier or quicker. If anything, it allows you to be more creative and take the time, and versus, just trying to mix it live. It's really dope that you do that, so all of the listeners can go and check that out and learn how to do mixes in Ableton.
And what's awesome about it is that the community there is a part of the mix to be like, hey, what can I play that's a 90s West Coast song? And then be like, oh yeah, Ice-T, Tupac. And then they're like, oh, okay, Tupac will work here because of this key or whatever, and I could tell them why something will work and why something doesn't work, because then they're learning that aspect. Oh yeah, that won't work because that tempo is 95 and I'm at like 106 right now, like it could work, like there's different things that we talk about in terms of theory of creating a mix for radio too. Like, oh yeah, I need to play something super commercial because I just went super deep on them, things like that, that people don't necessarily think about, and just learning the technology along with it. And you don't focus on the act of DJing, you're focusing on the act of creating a show. And I think that's what's really, really cool of it.
How do you stay from getting so burnt out on all this music stuff? Because you do a lot. I mean, you really do. You're it's impressive, and you're militant about doing it and keeping a schedule.
To add to what he's saying is, how do you find music how do you get time to even find music? When you're so into your schedule and you're so into what's going on, sometimes, unfortunately, as DJs, the music gets put to the side, and you're so focused on just business and all the other stuff. So how do you get time to dig for new tracks and that kind of stuff too?
Yeah. Most of the time it's like before I do my the old school mixes that doesn't count. I don't have to search for music for that. But I also do another radio station called Fire Lane that's I think you were a part of as well.
Yeah,
and
used to be on that.
Yeah, so that was when I do those mixes. That's like the hour or two before I start those mixes, I do the research and I'm like, all right, let's see what's new, what's happening. And then, being on radio, well, I still get all the emails from the labels, so things will pop up, on Fridays. Oh yeah, this is the new X, this just dropped or this just dropped. So I could always just pop it on my phone and like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, because we're lucky that we can do that nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, there's a Spotify link. Oh, it just links, and then you'll listen to Spotify playlists here and there or whatever. But most of the time, I find new music when I need to make a new mix. So that's like when I'm, all right, let's find the dope shit, or let's find these edits or whatever. And every Monday, I play mostly newer EDM stuff. So I'm trying to find music for that show specifically too. So that's when I'm really finding is the prep for shows.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, you were saying, how do I find the time or how do I do with all the music?
How do you just feel like, as DJs, we're all business owners, so we become consumed by this world of everything that we do becomes the business. How do you find time? Do you have any tricks or tips that, that to keep like the flame, ignited within you is the way?
To keep the flame ignited, it comes down to hearing good music in general. When you hear good music, you're like, oh, that's dope. And that ignites you to find other music that's like that. Like when I found out about Kesha Pitbull and like this is dope. Like there's got to be more stuff like this. And then you would go on Bandcamp and then try to figure out how the fuck does Bandcamp work? Like how do you find songs on Bandcamp? Like it comes down to finding a sound that you like, to being inspired. So every time I hear something like new music that hits me, then that's inspiring to me. I'm waiting to hear some new hip hop that's like super inspiring. I'm not sure what hip hop is super inspiring. I mean, some of the Drake stuff I really like. I like a lot of the house stuff is what I'm really gravitating towards, like the bass house and some of the tech house stuff. I'm really gravitating towards that a lot.
It's hard. It's been a tough couple years for music in terms of, what defines a hit right now. There isn't this, I feel like there's not this one, like it used to be. Billboard was hits. Like if you played the Billboard Top 40, it was hits. And now it's, no, and I don't mean this the way it's going to sound, and I'll probably get some haters that comment, but like Morgan Wallen, that song is #1 on Billboard. And to me, it's just an okay song. It's just very much okay. It's the #1 song. It like kind of hits out. You have people that like it, but it's not like that big pop that a typical #1, song gets, I feel. And maybe that's just me.
I think that somebody was telling me, I don't know if this is true or not, but they're saying that they're reworking how the Billboard charts work. And like, it's not supposed to be just people writing in, oh, these are the top Billboard records that it should be. Like, I think they were going a different route. And I think if they take, if this is true, I'm not sure if it is, if they, take this other route where it would be more accurate of spins and accurate of club play and everything like that, I think then the chart can be more believable, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Accurate to life.
Yeah.
There are some songs that were #1 on the dance chart. I'm like, I don't think I've heard any DJ play this one. Or they're not playing that remix. They're playing this remix or something like that, So I don't know if, charts could be a good idea of like just like finding songs to decide if you want to play it or not.
Oh, totally. And that's what I mean. Like
definitely.
These days you have to follow many different things to kind of figure out. And then, it's just DJing, being a DJ that allows you to kind of know what hits or not.
Well, it's the amount of DJing you do too. Like when you're DJing every week at a residency, you can see, oh, this song's not working right now, but maybe it'll work in a month, and you try it again in a month, and it's like, blowing shit up. These TikTok charts are crazy too. The trending audio, it's very interesting when you're playing to a younger crowd, and then you're like, I don't know what the fuck this song is, but if I play these 4 seconds of it, they lose their shit. So like okay, You know, like there's that aspect of it as well, and just finding that trending audio and finding and knowing which spot to put it. I remember I was talking to somebody, I can't remember who, because they're like, man, this Drake song is so bad. I'm like, well, did you get to the second half of it where it's actually really dope? And they're like, oh no, like there's like I don't know when it became cool to make two songs into one song.
Right.
But like, why can't you just make that another track? Is separate track?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that. But like, I feel like you have to know which moments are right for the songs, and a chart's not going to tell you what that is.
No.
Yeah. So one of the things we like to ask is a crazy DJ story. If you have a night gone horribly wrong, if you have a super memorable night from the DJ booth, or both you want to share, we would love to hear it.
Yes. Okay. I will try to keep this as short as possible because it's a long story. But when we were Jump Smokers, we were on tour in China. We did Hong Kong first, and then we did 3 cities in China. And the guy that was the promoter, super duper nice dude, and he's like, okay, so we'll get you a working visa in Hong Kong, and we'll get you a travel visa for the rest of China. And I'm like, is that how it works? Like, he's like, yeah, Tiesto just did it last month. We're like, okay. All right, well, if Tiesto did it, then,
Right.
So we're like, okay, cool. So we go to Hong Kong, we do the show, super duper awesome. We go to the second one, which is in Foshan, which is like inner China, and that one was dope. And then we get to Xi'an, which is like another like inner China city, and it was really dope. We get there, and we're walking through the subway, and there's this big, gigantic like wall, like, and it was essentially a billboard, but it was a big wall, and it was like a flyer for us. And at the time, our flyer was just our logo and a go-go dancer. So it was like essentially like the top half of her body, where she's wearing like a Jump Smoker shirt, and then you see like the belly button, like it's very like a flyer, it's a girl flyer, So so it was dope, had the name of the club, whatever. We're like, dude, this is dope. We shot the video, like this is dope. We go to the show, we kill the show, and China is kind of crazy because they have like instead
What
of
year is this?
Shoot, this is like 2011, 2012,
Okay,
maybe
right.
something around that time. So their club is like a huge mega club. Like if you think of a big mega club, but instead of having a dance floor, it was all tables. Like not like sit down, not like couch tables, like stand up fork tabletop, like
high top tables,
high top tables.
like a B-dubs.
Yeah, but they were like nice tables, and then they had like chairs that were nice, and everyone was dressed up properly. Like they had their nice club gear, and they would just have bottles on there. And I would DJ, and they would just watch me, and like like am I doing good? Like this is awesome. They were just watching and drinking and like like moving around, and like they're not really singing per se. But like, but it was interesting. But like, when I was done with the set, they were like, "Bravo!" like stand up, like applauding it, like it was opera. Like it was so insane. It was really cool. But then, right after I played the last record, the promoter comes up to me. He's, "Hey, you got to go talk to the government really quick." We're like, "What?"
Oh no!
So there was 4 of us at the time. Myself, Roman, and then Tony Arzadon, who was part of the group at first. He was essentially the guy that taught me a lot of my production stuff. So shout out to Tony. Then we had our road manager, Big Steve. So they took Roman and myself. We just happened to be the ones that they took. They said, we only need 2 of you. So they took us, and then they took us to the back room, and the promoter goes, "Hey, just so you know, when they talk to you, you didn't get paid for tonight." We're like, what happened? Like, you didn't get paid for tonight. And tell them that we met on Facebook and you did your show in Hong Kong and you thought that you can promote your music by doing these shows for free in China. We're like, okay, sure. If that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do. So then we're like, all right, we're gonna go talk to the government. And then like these two guys came up and like, all right, we're gonna walk down the street and we gotta take you to where we can talk. We're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Dude,
so
I'd
they
be
walk
so
us
scared,
down,
bro.
they walk us down like 2 blocks into the police station. And we're like,
fuck.
what is happening? Then they take us, they separate us and put us in 2 different rooms. And they start asking us questions. And while we're there, someone in the background is getting the shit kicked out of them. Like beat. Someone comes inside, he gets like the pepper spray, runs out and he sprays the pepper spray. Like we don't really see it, we just hear it happening. And because everything is in, a foreign language, it's in Chinese, we don't know if that's the promoter that's getting beat up. We don't know who's getting beat up, like what's happening. All we know that is that Roman's story and my story has to match up in this situation.
Yeah.
So we're there and we're like, okay, how did you get here? Oh, like, yeah, we flew here. We went to, we did a show in Hong Kong. Like, did they pay you? They asked us a ton of questions. It lasted like 2 hours of just them interrogating us.
I was
and then
so scared.
they're like, okay, we believe you. Hold on one second. They leave, they come back. And we're like, both of us, we're separated, but we're both essentially saying the same thing. And we're both actually saying, we're really scared. Like we don't really know. We're just here to promote our music. And they're like, okay, well, you need to sign this document that says all this stuff, but it's all in Chinese. So,
no.
So it's like, I'm like, I can't read that. Can you give me one in English? Like, no, we'll translate it for you. Like, really?
Yeah.
You'll translate it for me?
Sure. I trust you.
So there's nothing we could do. We're like, we'll sign it. We're like, oh yeah, maybe we'll be, we could sign it. Be like, oh yeah, that's not our signature. They're like, okay, now you need to fingerprint it. So now we had to like put our fingerprints on this thing and we're like, okay, we'll let you go. So then we leave, we get back to the hotel. We're like, fuck this shit. Roman actually has our cash like in his hotel room, like of us getting paid. And he has our contracts. He's like ripping up the contracts, like so there's no evidence or whatever. And then we're like, okay, this is crazy. Let's go home. Like, no, we got one. The promoter goes, we got one more show in another city, but don't worry, the government, we gave them money, so we're okay over there. We're like, what is happening? So they basically went under the table for the other city, and then we go to sleep and we wake up and they're knocking on the door and they're like, okay, you need to talk to the government again. So we go back
dude.
Another 2 hours of interrogation, another piece of paper that we have to sign and fingerprint, and then like it's the exact same questions, the same things, and they're like, oh, okay, we believe you. We're going to let you go. So they let us go. And then we find out from the promoter, the reason why they arrested us was because they thought that we were performing a sex show because the flyer was the Go-Go Girl.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
It's like, so that's why they came, they checked, they wanted to check the IDs and check everything like that because they thought it was a sex show and that the club had previously in the past done like workarounds with their visas, and they're like, we don't really care about you, we care about them, so you guys are fine, you don't have to worry about anything. But yeah, they thought it was about a sex show. All that interrogation, all that, we thought we were gonna be locked up abroad.
This takes the cake for craziest DJ story we've heard on here yet.
I was gonna say, what's the money like? Is it worth it to not have just been like, fuck you guys? Here's the money.
After the first time, I would have headed straight to the airport and got the fuck out of there. There is no way I would have been staying doing another show.
Yeah, I mean, they had our passports. They can stop our passports. They could not let us leave and all that. So like, we were just like, let's just get the show done and then let's make it happen. And sure enough, the last show went out without a hitch. It was another great show, but like that was probably the scariest moment of my life. Not just DJing, but just like in general, because you never know what can happen. And when you're in the government, it's the government, like
yeah, that is
frightening.
by far the wildest thing I've heard and we've heard on here. I mean, I don't know how I would feel if yeah, that's a lot.
Between your story and your work schedule, my anxiety is like through the roof. I need a drink after this.
It's crazy. I mean, it's definitely a great story, and that tour in China was, we had such great memories, and to be able to play for all these people and get paid a good amount of money and do what we love to do and just promote our remixes and that. Okay, it was the time that Afrojack "Give Me Everything" was a brand new song, so that's when I was just like going through my set, like that's when it happened. But yeah, like I had another crazy story, but like I think that's good.
No, that was nuts, man, nuts. That was a great way to leave it on.
Yeah. So one of the last things that we like to do on here, we call it the sauce. We got the segment video I'll play, and we just kind of like asking, the takeaway advice you would give your younger self. So think about that. We'll roll this video.
The name is Bootsy, baby. And this shout out goes out to Drew and Fuse, all the way from Cincinnati to the LBC bottle. Yeah, I was told you guys are quite the chefs, and you got a delicious sauce that you cooked up. Ooh, and it drips that swagoo and breaks down the recipe. Yeah, and you giving up the P, cause it's funky. As in good, that is. Finger funkin' good. On the one by the power of the one. Yeah, without that, there is none. So get yours and be in tune with the one that loves you. Get it, baby.
All right. There's Bootsy. He wants to know the recipe. We want to know the recipe. Tell us any advice you'd give to your younger self, advice you'd give to new DJs, anything like that.
There's a couple things. I think one of the things that I would like to tell my younger self, or like kind of like a regret almost, is that when you get to that tour life, when you get the opportunity to travel different cities and go to different places, try to book an extra day before or after the event and enjoy the city. Because there were a lot of times where I would fly in, do the show, and then leave first thing the next morning and never really get to see the city and never get to experience what that city can really offer, whether it's food or whether it's culture or just people, just the networking of like other DJs that are in the city or doing all these other things. Just try to spend another day and link up with somebody who's in that city if you can, and just really meet other DJs, know what's happening in their city, what they're doing that's successful that you can learn about. And if you're a touring city or a touring DJ, then and your name is like on a billboard or something, these people are going to want to talk to you and get the experience and learn from you as well. So I think that's one of the things that I really regretted, was going to some of these cities and some of these different countries and just flying in and then like being out, like peace, or not really getting to get to know the people of that city, other than this is where these are the club people that I've met. I think that's like something that's, I don't know if it's necessarily talked about or if it's obvious. Maybe that's an obvious answer that I just didn't think about. It was like, okay, well, I gotta pay for an extra day of hotel room and then move the flight to this, or or if you have back-to-back flights or back-to-back gigs, you can't do that. Like, oh, I have DJ Friday in this city, Saturday in this city. Then you can't do it unless you go, oh yeah, I want to fly in on Thursday and then like leave on Monday, or like in the other one, like try to find a way to get that extra day in that city to just hang out with other DJs, hang out with other people, and really connect and build this following so that, oh yeah, we definitely want to bring this guy back, or we definitely want to, we had so much fun looking at XYZ, like the connection with people that it's bigger than just a gig of playing somewhere, I think that's super, super important. I feel I missed out on some of that.
Yeah, that's a sauce that we haven't heard yet. I totally 100% agree with you, especially with all the travel gigs.
And then, yeah, like even if you're doing something locally, like let's say you have a guest spot at a local spot, or they do a monthly party or a weekly party, and they have different DJs every week. And then this week is you. The week before, if you can, go to that party and see what the vibe is, and see, so you're not walking in blind. Or if you've never been to that party and you don't know, it's good to go and realize, okay, this is the vibe of what they like, what they don't, not necessarily, word for word of, oh, he played this song and this song, or, it's just like, you're just catching vibes, just like, okay, I see where I can take this to this show. And then you're just being respectful to the people that are booking you for these events, because you're putting in time to realize what's happening.
Right.
I think that's another key thing, especially if you're just coming up and you're like still really trying to get into more places, just really learning what works for these venues, if it's different than what works for these venues,
Right. Totally agree. Great advice.
Yep. I agree. Drew, is there anything else you wanted to ask?
I mean, we could talk to you for days, but I think
I got stories for days.
I think this has been an awesome episode, and if you're down, we're going to be doing music episodes, and I'd love to have you back on and talk music. So this has been awesome for today.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I'm very grateful to be a part of your show and be being asked to be a guest, because you guys are really, really awesome. Like, I love all the videos that you guys are putting into these, and like, you're not just like, hey, let's do a podcast, and then like, we'll just do a Zoom or do something, like, it's you guys really put a show together, and it really shows with the final product on every episode. You see the growth in what you guys have come, and your ideas, that you're doing stuff that I'm not seeing anyone else doing, and that's always that's always important to try to stand out. And I think you guys are doing a great job of standing out.
Thank you. We appreciate
means
that.
a lot.
Yeah. Before we wrap here, could you let everybody know where they can find you at? Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, sure. DJ Flipside 33 is all the socials. My Facebook page got hacked, so you can see random gross videos on my fan page, apparently. So that's not me posting. But yeah, but my Instagram is what I'm on most, and then my Twitter is DJ Flipside 33 as well. Everything is still the same. My YouTube, DJ Flipside 33. My webpage is DJ Flipside though. And that's the best way to get at me, through social media. Just DM me. I try to answer everything that I can. If you have a question on something I played or something that I'm doing, feel free to hit me up. And just check out all the music on Spotify and everything too as well.
I wanted to compliment you on your website before we go. I was on the merch page, and you got the flips. I couldn't even say it. I think I tried to say like the flip slides. I was like, that's so dope.
Yeah.
Yes. They're I mean, I thought that was a really, really clever idea. I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if people would catch it or it'd be cooler, but I was like, yeah, I love it. We're doing it. Flip slides.
It's
so
awesome.
tight. The whole merch store is dope. If you guys go on his website, you get all of his merch, and watch his streaming, learn how to do mixes. I mean, so much information if you go back and listen. There's a lot of good stuff you can get from him.
Totally.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's going to wrap it up for today. And until next time, we will see you guys later.
Peace.